it's super important that you all know that nothing is changing on this channel. In fact, everything is just going to get better. Live shows are coming back. So we're going to do pre-shows, watch-alongs, post-shows. We're going to do live call-in shows. Yeah, live streams. The OMG Wrestling Podcast has been announced. It's returning. Anybody who has followed me for like 10, 12 years on YouTube knows the OMG Wrestling Podcast is incredible. So that returns. There's a lot of things coming to the channel, guys. We just changed the name. I know sometimes change sucks, but this is one of those things I feel like is the best for me personally as a YouTuber in the long run. You don't have to worry. I'm not going to be making music and uploading it to this channel. I'm not going to be doing anything silly. I'm just simply going by my birth name, which is Ango, A-N-G-O. Anyways, let's talk about some wrestling news because that's the stuff that actually matters, and that's why we're all here. So, yeah, if you guys didn't know, Tony Khan talking about AEW versus WWE. This is important. So despite winning WWE in total, despite WWE winning in total viewers, AEW won the 18-49 demo, and in close examination, they won the demo in the quarter where the two shows went head to head. These were Tony Khan's thoughts. CM Punk won his segment decisively, and then the second segment, which was Ruby Soho versus the Bunny, two female wrestlers who fans who had just been really mean to and said, your segment's not going to do well. Ruby Soho is a big star who had been fired from WWE just months prior, and they went up against the contract signing of Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns. Now, if that doesn't tell you anything, let me explain to you what you need to know. The key demographic is 18 to 49, okay? That is what advertisers are looking for. When viewership is really high, advertisers pay a lot of money. Just because AEW is beating WWE in key demographic doesn't mean they're making more money than WWE, but it just means it's really, really successful for AEW to achieve that because they're obviously going to get paid a lot of money. Again, the younger audience tends to pay more money for a lot of things. Now, statistically speaking, AEW won in that little head-to-head in the key demographic. WWE had more total viewers, which is also a big win for WWE. I, as a fan, personally thought Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns was much stronger than Ruby Soho and the Bunny. Okay? That's what I feel. I've said this before. I've said this a million times. You can tell me about statistics, but you can't tell me to change my opinion. Okay? So, statistically speaking, yes, AEW did in fact beat WWE in key demographics when they went head to head. And yes, like that's something I guess AEW could brag about. But as a fan, I just simply don't care because I thought Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar's contract signing was a lot better. Now, on top of that, at this current moment, November 11th, 2021, I think AEW is a better product right now. Creatively, momentum-wise, everything about AEW is a little bit more appealing to me. And I think that's a reason why AEW has a younger audience watching them versus WWE. Will this continue to happen? Time will tell. So yeah, just some very interesting thoughts. I don't know. It was like really weird, but yeah. Let's talk a little bit about Charlotte Flair and Becky Lynch. We're all familiar with the story. They're throwing titles at each other, beef, a lot of things happening backstage. Well, now Becky Lynch has broken her silence on it. Let's take a look at this quote. Speaking on the Sports Illustrated Media podcast, Becky offered some details on what happened. I don't know, man. We don't talk anymore. We don't talk. So all I'll say is the locker room needs a hero sometimes, and sometimes somebody's got to be a hero. I'm all right being that hero. That's what I'll say on that matter. So yeah, this beef between Charlotte and Becky obviously is something that's been brewing for a while. It's really sad, honestly, when you consider how big Becky Lynch and Charlotte, they came up together through the Four Horsewomen, and when you obviously add Bayley and Sasha and Becky and Charlotte into the mix, I would say they're not the sole reason why women's wrestling is popular in WWE, but they are a big part of that reason. Obviously, being NXT's Four Horsewomen, it was a really big deal for pro wrestling in general. Charlotte, I don't know, man. Call me crazy, but I think Charlotte is doing all of this stuff. I truly think Charlotte's going to AEW personally. That's a whole other thing. That's a whole different topic for another video. But I think Charlotte Flair eventually wants to be gone from WWE, and that's fine, to be honest. I just don't think Charlotte Flair will be I don't think there will be a better reception from the fans for Charlotte when she leaves WWE. That's my concern. Okay? That's my concern. I think Charlotte thinks maybe she goes to AEW or another company and she might get some of the clout from the hardcore audience. But deep down inside in WWE, the hardcore audience is the one that hates Charlotte Flair. But again, wrestling fans change their tune every single time too, so you never really know. Yeah, it's just really weird. Also, final story of the day, we got to talk about it. There is a WWE superstar who is pretty much getting ready to leave WWE and go to AEW. And if you look no further, my friends, we got to talk about it. Kyle O'Reilly has been rumored to join AEW for a while. We've been covering this story for a while. Rumors are getting intensified. On top of that, there is much more speculation based on AEW's programming that is leading people to believe Kyle O'Reilly is definitely coming back. Obviously, there was the backstage segment with Adam Cole, the Super Click, and Bobby Fish. If you're unfamiliar with that segment, it's really important for you guys to go back and watch it. It's also on YouTube. References made to Undisputed Era. Obviously, AEW at this point is probably going to be bringing back the Undisputed Era. They will. They will absolutely bring back the Undisputed Era. There's no questions asked. The real question is, how do they do it? Obviously, in my previous video, I talked about Red Dragon, but I think Adam Cole joining Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly is massive. And I think AEW has realized that Adam Cole could eventually become the top babyface of the company. And I think the way to do that is actually by bringing in Undisputed Era. I don't know exactly what AEW's plans are. Obviously, they got the license for Bobby Fish's music. Obviously, everybody knows his entrance song. So that's really important to know, because I don't think you would waste that kind of money to get this song if you had no plans to bring in Kyle O'Reilly. Obviously, Kyle O'Reilly leaving WWE makes the most sense, working with Von Wagner. This guy pretty much got pushed from the top of the card. Obviously, now he's not really important at all to the show. That's what WWE does when people are getting ready to leave, because WWE knows that Kyle O'Reilly is leaving WWE. I think it's for sure. I don't think these rumors and the speculation and these reports that are coming out about Kyle O'Reilly, I don't think it's a shocker whatsoever. But it's something for people to understand. It's something for people to know. And I think people just need to realize at this stage of the game, it is much more important to just pay attention to the product and see the small things that are happening on screen, right? So like AEW does a lot of small little things because they want you to think something, and then they actually deliver on that. And AEW does that. WWE doesn't do that. WWE doesn't care how invested you are in their product. I don't think they do. I think AEW cares, and that's why you see a little bit more effort behind these little Easter eggs, and that's why AEW does it and WWE doesn't. And also with Kyle O'Reilly going to AEW, I just think it's going to be better for AEW in the long run. And everybody who complains about AEW signing WWE superstars, well, Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish were something major before WWE, so that's pretty much all you need to know in that regard. But hey, to each their own. Everybody has their own opinion. I would love to hear your opinion. So just go ahead and drop them in the comment section down below. And I'll see you next time, guys. Thanks for watching.